Mr. Wells.
Hi.
Do you have a food heist for us? Because good Kelson has prepared them.
I have not looked yet, but that is the beauty of this spreadsheet. I can look at it right now. How about hungry thieves make burgers?
Wow, that would have been perfect for last week.
Young men fail to find cash in a restaurant at night, so they prepare their own burgers, leave, return again and make more burgers, leave, and then return a third time and steal a bunch of the cooking supplies.
Wow.
This happened in Bulgaria.
Oh,
that's cool.
I've been to Bulgaria. It's not where I would have guessed for. So they went to get burgers and the burger place was closed, so they broke in and made their own. Is that what happened?
Mm-hmm.
So Kronk.
The other great thing about having this spreadsheet is that he also says who sent it in. So last week, the cooking oil car chase, that was Timothy O'Sullivan. Thank you very much for your food heist submission. And now Hungry Thieves Make Burgers, that is from Adem Palov from Bulgaria.
I love this one. We haven't had this happen before where they did pull a heist at the end, and they are pulling a heist all along, but they're making their own burgers?
We have had one time a thief that made his own food.
But that was at someone's house, right?
Yeah, it was at somebody's house.
Yeah, and got caught.
This is the first time that the same thieves have robbed a restaurant 3 times in one night and cooked themselves burgers twice.
So it was the same night?
Yeah.
So they got burgers, so like, we did such a good job. We need to go back and make some more burgers.
You know what would really hit the spot? I cannot get this. Oh, here's the link.
Is it in Bulgarian?
It is in Bulgarian.
Okay.
So there's a video of them making food, and then there's a lot of Cyrillic alphabet that I don't know how to read.
But apparently Kelson can.
I actually don't know if this is Cyrillic or if this is some other Eastern European thing. But anyway.
But I love that.
Bulgarian.
So these guys are classy. They were making burgers. They were getting ready to make them for everybody, but then, they decided they were going to take the supplies and make them elsewhere.
What I want to know, which I can't know from the article because I don't speak Bulgarian, was it the same people who came back?
It had to be.
Or did they bring back like an extra guy who's like,
Oh,
wait,
right.
You made burgers without me? And they're like, sure, we can go do it again. We didn't get caught. I did ask Kelson to have a column here for the genre of crime that has taken place. And he has listed this one as petty.
Petty.
This was not a heist.
Yeah.
This was just a theft.
That's
but
true.
A cool one.
Pretty cool. I like that one. Thumbs up.
Okay.
Dan, can I ask, during the interview for Kelson, did you have to have like that serious talk of, Kelson, I'm going to ask you to do some things, and I need you to create a spreadsheet that no other job will ask you to prepare?
Here's the thing. There was no interview process.
Yeah.
Brandon emailed me and said, hey, do you want an intern? I'm sending you one.
This is one of my students from last year.
Yeah.
And he wrote an email and said, hey, can you use an intern? And we have always rejected those in the past because what are we going to do with the intern? Like, it was people asking when I was working out of my basement by myself. I'm like,
yeah.
But now that we have a whole company and there's a lot of stuff to do, Narrative could use an intern. And I said, you know what? Let me see if HR, and I emailed you and said, do you want an intern?
Yeah.
And I knew Kelson would do a good job because I'd had him as a student.
Yeah, and he's been great. I do have him working on real projects in addition to my food heist spreadsheet. But like, I sat down with Jared, who's our HR guy, and we had to because he's doing an internship as part of college.
Yes.
So we had to submit a thing to the university to say, here's what we're going to have him do. This is a real job.
Yeah.
Give him credit for it. And in the process of making that list, I realized I have so many things that I could have an intern do.
Yeah.
So
there might be, when Kelson is done, there might be room for other interns underneath Dan.
And I know that even just saying we accept interns now, we're going to get 4 billion emails for people who want to be interns. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Unless you are super young and can get college credit for it.
Yeah, this has to be in conjunction with one of the local universities.
Yeah.
So
this is not just an opportunity for you to spend 2 months working part-time at Dragonsteel.
Yep.
You've been warned.
Today, I am going to ask a question of you that we are going to center around a film.
Okay.
We both have seen Thunderbolts.
Yes, we have.
You probably saw it closer to when it came out. I
No,
saw it
like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, that's when I saw it.
Okay.
So it's fresh for us. And I asked a question of you a couple of weeks ago. You're like, oh, we should talk about that in the podcast, which is why is it so hard to do the Guardians of the Galaxy thing? Why is Guardians done it so well, and most other films in Guardians' wake have failed? And I don't know that I would call Thunderbolts a failure, but it's not doing it as well as Guardians.
It is definitely not doing it as well. I just remembered, I actually watched Thunderbolts in the plane on the way to Gen Con. So that's at this point like 2 months ago. But I really, I don't know if I should say really enjoyed. I enjoyed Thunderbolts. I thought it was good. It did some things that impressed the heck out of me.
Yeah, me too.
I thought the ending of it, in particular, was a refreshing change from what Marvel typically
one of the best
out.
MCU endings.
Yeah.
But everybody had talked about how it was the best Marvel movie recently. And so I went in with higher expectations than it probably deserved. So I enjoyed it. If I were going to watch one of the two again, I would watch Superman, and I gave Superman a 7.
Yeah. I definitely enjoyed Superman a lot more than Thunderbolts.
But you gave Superman like an 8 or a 9, didn't you?
Yeah.
And so it might be a reflection of me needing to bump Superman up, because a lot of people said in our Superman episode in the comments that Superman has risen in their estimation over the months since they've seen it. And I would say Superman is rising in my estimation in reflecting back on it.
Was Superman the one you said fell in your estimation reflecting on it?
It did right after. It had that,
had the refrigerator logic crept up and ruined it. But now you're starting to like it more?
Ruined it from like an 8 or a 9 down to a 7. That's not ruining, right?
That's not,
But it might creep back up to an 8 over time. It depends. Someone asked me in the comments of that one, like, if the thing that I disliked the most, which I won't say here because I don't want to give spoilers for that show, we'll spoil Thunderbolts, but we won't spoil. If it turned out that there was, extenuating circumstances, would that raise it? Would that get rid of the problem? I said yes. It would absolutely get rid of the problem for me. If it's a later thing that a later movie could retcon, that would make me like it better. But
that's interesting because I would say no to that. If one movie requires a different movie to explain a stupid thing, that's still a fault with the movie.
Normally I'd say yes, except I felt in the movie it was setting it up fully to be like, this is not real. So let's go into spoilers for just a few minutes.
Okay.
The
Superman
spoilers.
We're spoiling Superman.
But only for like 2 minutes. The issue is the fact that his parents are actually evil. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, Zod got a hold of this footage. That's why and he's like, I want Superman to be evil. I hate Jor-El. I'm going to do this thing. And in his attempt to break it, he made it scramble. It just seemed obvious to me. Then James Gunn said, no, that's not the case. It's like totally legit. It just happened to break at exactly the moment that would hide, like they're all super good and then they do a heel turn on a dime. It felt so forced that I thought, well, we're just going to find out. And that's why I feel like it would be okay.
Yeah. Well, and the two halves of that message are contradictory to each other, which makes it even dumber. Yeah. But anyway.
So if in a later movie, they're like, the thing that you thought when this happened is true, I'd be like, great. That's the thing that should have been.
I can see that. While we're still talking spoilers, I thought what you were referring to was Lex Luthor's plan being pointlessly convoluted.
No, that is always going to bother me. But I have to acknowledge that every other plan Lex Luthor has ever made in film has been equally dumb. More so.
Yeah.
And generally, this is the best Lex Luthor actor we've ever had.
Oh, by a mile.
All right. Spoilers out.
Done with spoilers.
Now spoilers.
You can come back now. We're going to talk about Thunderbolts.
Which we are going to spoil. What would you give Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts?
Because I'm at, maybe I'll raise, I'm at a 6, maybe a 6.5.
6 with Thunderbolts,
Yeah. It is a movie with moments of 9 and 10, built on a foundation of characters I don't care about. And they were unable to make me care about anyone except David Harbour and Black Widow. New
Okay.
Black Widow.
Not even U.S. agent.
No, I mean,
The thing is,
okay.
I hated him in the TV show. I thought he was a bad character, and I thought they presented him as a straight-up bad person.
Yeah.
And then when they put him into this, I was like, oh, why do we have to watch this a-hole again? But he was one of the biggest victories of the movie for me because they made me like him without retconning him into a different personality. He's still a bad person.
Yeah.
He's still a dumb character, but in a way that totally fits in to the group and got some of the best laughs of the movie.
He was enjoyable, but I don't know that I cared what happened to him.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they did nothing with Ghost. Might as well not be in the movie.
Ghost was nothing.
And she's probably the most interesting, just on paper. They did nothing with Ghost. He got some laughs out of me, but he was such a jerk at the beginning that I didn't buy him becoming a hero. They didn't, and they made the mistake in this one. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy thing. In Guardians, I bought Rocket Raccoon, who is the most awful of them, stepping up by the end.
Yeah.
James Gunn made me, in that movie, buy that Rocket Raccoon, after the loss of the one person that he loved, stepping up and kind of being like, this is what Groot would want me to do. Even Rocket. And in this, I'm like, why is he turning on a dime to be a hero? Yeah, he wants to be Captain America, but he's been so awful at all points.
I have a different interpretation of this.
Yeah.
Because I think they present him as an awful, selfish bastard.
Yep.
And I think he still is at the end.
Okay.
I did not see his turn as I have become truly heroic now. I saw it as I am still fulfilling the public role where I want everyone to like me.
Okay.
And so for me, he was still very mercenary by the end of it.
I can totally accept your interpretation. I would like it better if I had gotten that out of the film.
Okay.
If your
That is fair.
interpretation is right, then I like it better. Your argument is solid. But I mean, it feels like he's out there saving people for no reason, like with nothing to get back from it. And he's in the group hug. And I'm just like, but you haven't convinced me. The only one you've convinced me, like, really has a sense of morals is Black Widow. Because Florence Pugh, that's Florence Pugh, right? It's just such a good actor that she carries that movie so hard. And I love David Harbour and I think my biggest prop to it is in the original Black Widow movie, I love David Harbour and felt they treated his character kind of dirty. I wanted him to actually want to be heroic, and I never felt that he did. And in this, he was the person I thought he was in Black Widow.
Okay.
The washed up superhero who was a hero and wanted to be a hero. And giving me that Red Guardian, I will give this points for.
See, I am the opposite.
Yeah.
I saw Red Guardian as essentially a weird cartoon character that was in the movie with everybody else. I didn't buy his backstory. I didn't buy his, little puppy dog attitude of running around trying to just be everything to everyone.
It is a problem because in the Black Widow movie, he's complicated. And they threw away some of that complication in this. If this had just been a movie about the two of them, I bet they could have, they could have done a ton with it. But they didn't. And my other problem is, I think the actor's been great in lots of things, but Bucky just never works for me. I'm not interested in his powers. I'm like, great, you've got a metal arm. Why does this make you a superhero?
And I don't know when he became a senator or whatever.
Yeah.
But the movie essentially lost me on his character as soon as they said that. Maybe that turned up in the Brave New World movie that I didn't watch.
It was like he walks in and is like, oh, you're a senator now.
See, which is asinine. There's no version of America in which anyone would elect a left-leaning, brainwashed Soviet assassin to any position, let alone a senator. Anyway, Bucky and Ghost were both the same personality, which is I don't want to be here. I don't like any of you, and I don't talk very much.
Yeah.
At which point, why are you even in the movie?
And when he shows up, there it like plays the heroic music, and he's like, they're like, the real superhero's here, and I'm like, I've never been interested in Bucky. So, and then the other and these are all the problems of the movie. We'll talk about that spectacular ending and that spectacular villain. But everyone has the same power set except for Ghost. These are all vague, super soldierish sort of people who are you can shoot a person or melee them.
You can shoot them or you can punch them. But that is all you can do.
There's nothing interesting to their power sets, which is okay, right? But again, we look at James Gunn and how did he do that? Because Rocket is essentially I punch you or I shoot you. He's interesting. Drax is essentially I punch you or I shoot you, and he's interesting. Gamora is essentially I punch you or I shoot you. Like it's the same thing. They've only got one weird alien in Groot, and the whole team feels diverse. The whole team feels interesting. I buy their change from villain to hero just because Quill and Gamora have enough of a moral heart and Groot that they can tow the other two along who have, and at the end they're making fun of the fact that they don't have any sense of morals. They're just like, well, we're good guys now. What if I want to do this? They're like, that's really bad. Like,
first,
why can Gunn
before
do
we
it?
answer this question, you asked what I would rate it, and I think I would rate it a 7.
Okay.
Above yours, but not much. Still something that I enjoyed a lot.
Now, I have to give big props to the people making this because I was completely uninterested in any of the characters coming in, with the exception of Florence Pugh's Black Widow, which I thought was the best part of the Black Widow movie. And they almost made me care. So I would rank it a 6, I think.
I think the only reason I give it a 7 is honestly because they made me like U.S. Agent, whatever that character's name is.
Now, this is a 6
U.S.
where
Agent.
I'm ranking it I still think a 6 is above average, right? But it's possible that at some vague future this goes up to a 7 and Superman goes to an 8. But I really wanted to love the movie, and I just liked the movie.
Yeah, I definitely liked it rather than loved it. Should we answer the Guardians question?
Yeah.
Or should we talk about things we loved about it?
Let's talk about things we loved and then answer the Guardian question. You cool with that?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Why don't you talk about the ending and why it is so great?
Spoilers. Sorry, I'm calling this out on the audio.
We started spoilers way back at the start of this.
Yes, but this is a large one. Just making sure.
So we're going to talk about the ending of this movie, and if you haven't seen it and don't want to know how it ends, please stop listening to this show.
Yep. Go watch the movie. It is worth watching.
Yeah.
It's a recommended 6 from me.
Yeah.
Right? It's a 6 that gets a recommendation. Its strengths are big and its flaws are big.
So part of the reason that the ending works so well, and I will get to what the ending actually is soon, is that the typical Marvel ending, even of their good movies, is a great big battle flying around over a city.
Yep.
And people just punch things and lasers get shot at other things. And I am not a fan. Whereas in this one, we did have a fight with the big, who we thought was the main bad guy, which is Sentry. And Void and whatever. He is in unbelievably powerful. We had a really good fight scene where he just wipes the floor with the Thunderbolts. But then that wasn't the real ending. That fight did not spill out over the city. We didn't have people flying all over. What we learn is that the actual real villain of the movie is depression.
Yes.
And the way you fight depression is not through punching it, but by giving it a hug.
Giving support.
And as that sounds very reductive, and that is, I think, a reductive version of how they handled the ending. Having the final battle be essentially running through different rooms that represented the worst parts of all their lives and of his life, and then finally finding him and overcoming the horrible, dark depression that told him he was alone and no one loved him and nothing could ever get better, worked really well, especially because this is the Thunderbolts. They are all kind of depressed and alone, and they don't think that their lives will get any better. That's how Florence Pugh starts the movie, the very first line of dialogue. And it really paid off these are the dumb misfits nobody likes in a way that made it worth casting all the dumb misfits that nobody likes.
Yeah. You said it perfectly. Only thing you left out was the really cool we've turned into a horror movie now because an actually legitimately superpowered individual versus a bunch of people with minor enhancements is a horror movie.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They played that so well that's when he appeared and he was the void and people started just vanishing into smears on the ground. I sat up and I'm like, this movie just got good.
Yeah.
And it stayed good all the way through that part with the my only complaint, I guess the complaint was right before that, is the ways that they became superheroes, like saving people and stuff, felt really perfunctory.
Yeah.
And
I think in a lot of ways they were specifically trying to harken back to scenes from Avengers.
Yes.
And say, oh, look, Hulk caught a thing before it landed on someone. Yeah. Now Red Guardian's going to do the same thing.
And that just didn't work for me at all. The low point of the movie followed by high point of the movie.
Yeah. I will say that this whole third act, other than the kind of schlocky save the city bits, worked really well. And that third act begins in the really great scene between Sentry and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, where she realizes she's lost control of him.
Yep.
And she is one of my favorite actors.
And she's great in this role.
She is. I was expecting her to be funny.
Yeah.
And she wasn't really funny. But she absolutely did the venal, conniving politician to a T. And then that moment where, and I have no idea who plays Sentry. I know that my 19-year-old is in love with him.
Okay.
But he did a great job of being so basic and naive for so long that when he did his heel turn and is like, well, why should I do what you say?
Yep.
It felt more dangerous because this was now a little kid with a gun.
Yep.
This was someone who didn't understand his powers, who didn't have a strong moral center, who didn't know what he was doing, and that made it so much more frightening.
Yeah.
And the name of that actor is Lewis Pullman. He also was in Maverick.
Pullman.
Okay.
He was one of the pilots.
He was one of the pilots in Maverick?
He was the
dumb
kid
nerd
with glasses.
One with glasses?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
It also, the other high point of the movie for me is when Florence Pugh turns on the emotional acting chops with David Harbour, and you're like, oh, wow, we're in a different movie for a few minutes.
Yeah. Florence Pugh is my favorite actress working today.
Really?
And I think she is so good that having her in a Marvel movie felt wrong.
Yeah.
If that is not insulting to say. But when she needs to turn it on, she can turn it on. Yep. And it worked really well.
It's a good scene between two good actors. And so that's what was really working for me.
Yeah.
Let's get to the why is it so hard? And this one, I feel like, started off on the wrong foot for me.
Okay.
In having Florence Pugh murder innocent people who were trying to stop what eventually became Sentry.
Yeah.
Right? And showing no empathy or care. And yeah, I get, you want them to start off as bad guys, but that level of brutal darkness doesn't lead me to at the end being happy when she decides that she's now going to, save children and superhero. If they left all of that out, maybe, but like you lose a certain ability for me to believe in your redemption when you're murdering innocents. And you can pull that off. Certain movies do. But I think starting off with that, instead of, how does Guardian start off? He's a goofy, fun guy who sings to a rat and has other evil people that he puts in danger.
Yeah.
He's not killing a scientist who's saying they're making a super weapon that's going to hurt people.
I liked that opening more than you did, in part because gleeful malevolence is a genre that I like when it's done well.
Yeah.
But even I thought, because she was, for the most part, incapacitating the scientists rather than killing them. But then she at one point just shoots a downed security guard for no reason.
Security guard.
And I was like, okay, you're not doing this for laughs and you're not doing this for gore. Why?
Well, then she blew up the lab. So they're all dead.
That's true. All the scientists eventually died.
Right. So it was when she shot the security guard, because it looked like she might have been using non-lethal until then. And so that started. Now she again is the best actor. She's the best part of the movie. I really enjoyed her, but that put it off on a foot where I'm like, I don't want these people to be redeemed. I totally can buy them being, a force for good, but on accident or something. Anyway, it started it off on the wrong foot for me. And a lot of them, I feel like, do this. They don't know how to walk that line between, Rocket is a sociopath who has no care for anyone, but we keep him pointed at the bad guys. And then he learns empathy over time rather than, look how evil Rocket is. Okay, now we're like...
Yeah, definitely.
And I will say James Gunn strays into that look how fun it is to kill people stuff a little too often.
With pretty much all of his movies that I've seen. Gunn has a real tendency, especially towards medical or scientific violence.
Yeah.
And you can see this even in Superman, but Guardians 3 has it, Guardians 1 has it. He just really likes that image of vulnerability being exploited horrifically.
Yeah.
And so, but to our point overall, he does manage to still make the characters lovable and, I buy redemption arcs from Rocket and from Yondu and from people like that in a way that I didn't for like Ghost.
But the thing is, Ghost already had a redemption arc. She was the one that was the most heroic, I feel, in her
coming
original.
into it,
and they just did nothing with her. Because in Ant-Man 2, she just wants to live. She's just,
she just wants to live, but she does start this movie working as a paid mercenary and assassin.
Yep,
so
she does. I'm just saying, coming off of her previous movie, but yeah.
So I'm gonna say part of it was, like I said with Ghost and Bucky, they had the same personality. And it was not a screen-friendly personality.
Right.
The person who doesn't want to be there and doesn't want to talk to anyone, they could have developed her character, but she would have had to have been a different person who was willing to talk with people and engage with the plot, and she just refused to at every stage.
I wonder if part of it is, like, you do have to have the sincerity to make this work. And the Guardians movies are very good at this. You also have just complete, wacky, weird quirks to make us laugh, to set the tone. I don't know if anyone's done the quirks as well as James Gunn.
Yeah.
Nobody has the nothing goes over my head, I'm too fast, I would catch it moment that makes you just... That moment made me love Drax so much. And I can't say why. He's super dumb. That's unrealistically stupid. But he's an alien. He thinks differently. And it's delightful.
Yeah.
So
in this one, we had... The people didn't really have those colorful personalities. What they had was niches that they fit into, which is one layer removed from characterization. And I think that's part of the reason that they didn't really click together as people. So you have Florence Pugh, Yelena, I think is her name.
That is her name.
She was the heart of the story.
Yes.
The one who we see from beginning to end, who has the big arc, who gets to be redeemed, and who is the one who pulls everyone together. That's more of a role in an RPG group than it is a character. We had Red Guardian, who did have that very first scene where he's trying to impress his daughter and failing. Really good characterization there, but for the rest of it, like I said before, he essentially was just the comic relief guy.
I agree.
He didn't have much of a character other than that. U.S. Agent was also the comic relief guy, but in a different flavor.
But he was so awful to everyone.
He was.
At the beginning.
He was so mean to everyone, even by the end.
Yeah.
And then Ghost was there just because they needed an extra character. They clearly didn't have any plans of what to do with her.
Well, so then that's my question with Taskmaster. Because Taskmaster just dies in the first 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they needed an extra character, why bring in 2?
Well, Taskmaster they brought in because they needed to kill someone early on.
Yes,
because they needed to show stakes for the movie.
No, which makes sense.
And Taskmaster was a great choice for that because that character was the single worst adaptation comic to movie that the MCU has done.
Agreed.
I agree.
Arguably that any comic book has ever.
And the biggest, one of the biggest missed opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when I talked about the Black Widow?
Yeah.
David Harbour has spent his whole life wanting to fight Captain America and prove he could beat Captain America. And then a person with Captain America's powers who has absorbed them is in the movie, and David Harbour doesn't get to fight them.
Yep.
Yeah. It was just, they have mishandled Taskmaster at every possible step.
Yes.
Killing her off so that they can do another version in the future is a good idea.
I agree.
Ghost was in there because...
You already did Ghost.
Yeah, because they needed an extra character.
Mm-hmm.
Bucky was in there because they needed a character people liked from the other movies.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't develop them. One of the things that I love... like, say, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which does the same thing, which also has, a deep and abiding love of medical horror. They give every character in it some kind of arc, some reason to like them. Even if you don't love them, there's a reason to like them, and then you get to watch them struggle with something and change. Even if it's very small, you get that from every character in a James Gunn movie.
Yep. I think that Guardians 2 is the best example of this. Just everybody changing and learning something in some way.
Yeah. Guardians 2 is the movie that made me like Star-Lord as a person.
Right.
Because he was a fun character in one, but he was an asshole.
Yeah.
Rocket, Guardians 2 is where he kind of learns empathy for people. You're right. That's a really good example of this.
Yeah.
And for example, with Suicide Squad, which is just the DC version of Thunderbolts, some of the characters were unredeemable, and you get to watch them fail and die off during the story.
Yep.
Rather than just at the very beginning, we lose one and nobody cares, and then we move on. And this is our group now. Suicide Squad also had scenes like at the bar. They go to a bar.
Probably shouldn't give too many spoilers for that one.
Well, I'm just saying there's a scene where they go to a bar and they hang out and they talk to each other about their philosophies on life.
And they get to bond and
And we don't really get any bonding scenes in this movie. All of the Guardians movies have had slow reaction scenes where people get to process what has happened and talk to each other and reveal who they are. And Thunderbolts never, other than the initial talk between Yelena and her father, the movie never really slows down long enough to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guardians 1, another one with one of my favorite endings. Again, we won't spoil that because we're not talking about it, but it doesn't do what you expect it to do as an ending.
Yeah.
So high recommendation for a 6.
Yeah.
Because the good parts are great. I wanted to love it.
It does have some of the most interesting fight scenes, like especially the one where they all fight Sentry. That's one of the best and most unique fight scenes Marvel's ever done. It also has one of the worst car chases I have ever seen in a movie. The pacing of that car chase through the desert is so bad. I was astonished by it. So yeah, it has really high highs. It has low lows, but overall, it goes out on a strong note. And I liked the characters, the ones that were characters.
How's that, Ben?